the excellencies, the honorable guests, distinguished delegates.
Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
The Honorable Rector and Vice Rector Universitas Negeri Padang, Dean and Vice Dean in Universitas Negeri Padang.
All of the participants for the 12th Para-International Conference on Education, Economics, Business and Accounting, PICEEBA 2023, through virtual conference.
It is a great honor and pleasure for us. My name is Mentari Ritonga.
And my name is Haris Setia Putra, and on behalf of the committee, we would like to welcome to all of you for the annual session of the 12th Para-International Conference on Economics, Education, Business and Accounting, PICEEBA 2023.
Our invited keynote speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Srat Sahid from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, Malaysia.
Professor Valentine Fasil from Institute of National Academy Romanian Academy, Romanian.
Assistant Professor Dr. Eka Fauzi Hardani from Universitas Negeri Padang, Indonesia.
And last but not least, Assistant Professor Dr. Semi Ying from University of Newcastle, Australia.
For the following agenda, it will be the Holy Quran recitation by Fadilatul Khairat.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wa la tafarraqu. Wadhkuru ni'matallahi 'alaikum إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين kadzalika yubayyinullahu lakum ayatihi la'allakum tahtadun. Sadaqallahul azim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Without further ado, we would like to invite Assistant Professor Oki Trinanda as the conference chair to the official report of the 12th PICEEBA 2023.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Rector, Vice Rector, Dean, Vice Dean, Board of Leaders of Universitas Negeri Padang, invited speakers and all the attendees of the 12th Padang International Conference, Education, Economics, Business, and Accounting. I stand before you today with a profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment as the chairperson of the 12th PICEEBA. This event has been a culmination of months of meticulous planning, coordination, and unwavering commitment from our dedicated team. Today, as we come together to reflect on the success of the conference, it is my honor to share with you a brief report on our journey. First and foremost, I extend my deepest appreciation to our distinguished speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Syirat Said from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, Professor Valentine Fasil from Institute of National Economy, Romania, Assistant Professor Dr. Eka Fauzi Hardani from Universitas Negeri Padang, and Assistant Professor Dr. Semi Ying from University of Newcastle, Australia. Our respected participants and committee who have made this conference a resounding success. Your expertise, enthusiasm, and collaborative spirit have created an atmosphere of intellectual exchange and innovation. This year's conference theme, Enhancing Digital Transformation for Sustainable Education, Economics, and Business in the Post-Pandemic Era, will guide our discussion and presentation, fostering a rich tapestry of ideas and insight. There are 72 papers have accepted to be presented in this international conference, 20 papers on human resource management, 13 papers on marketing management, 7 papers on finance, 3 papers on accounting, 12 papers on economics, 8 papers on entrepreneurship, and 9 papers on education. Our dedicated organizing committee and volunteers have worked tirelessly behind the scenes, ensuring the smooth execution of every aspect of this conference. The hard work and dedication have been instrumental in creating a seamless and enriching experience for all participants. As we begin the 12th Padang International Conference on Education, Economics, Business, and Accounting, let us carry forward the knowledge gained, the connections made, and the inspiration received. May the insights shared here today spark new ideas and collaboration that will contribute to the betterment of our global community. Before I close this report, we humbly request the Rector of Universitas Negeri Padang to officially open this international conference. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you for being part of this remarkable journey. I look forward to the future collaboration and the continued success of the next PICEEBA. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Among this time, we would like to invite a Rector of Universitas Negeri Padang, represented by Professor Yohandri PhD, to convey an acknowledgement and officially open for the 12th PICEEBA 2023.
Thank you, Moderator. Your Excellency, our keynote speaker today, the 12th Padang International Conference Education, Economic, Business Management, and Accounting, Associate Professor Dr. Syirat Said, Associate Professor Eka Fauzi Hardani, Prof. Valentina Fasil, thank you, Prof. Associate Professor Dr. Sami Ying, even at the night, they still take time to be with us. Thank you for your time and opportunity be with us. Vice Rectors, Deans, Quality Assurance Boards, Head of Bureau, and all leaders within the Universitas Negeri Padang, Chairman, Committee, and all participants the 12 PICEEBA. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to apologize for our rector not being able to be with us at this event due to another agenda. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone of you gathered virtually today. It is an honor to unite distinguished and accomplished speakers on this important agenda. On behalf of Universitas Negeri Padang, it gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to 12 PICEEBA, hosted by Faculty of Economic Business and co-hosted by University Technology Mara, Malaysia, with the theme Enhancing Digital Transformation for Sustainable Education, Economic, and Business in the Post-Pandemic Era. As you know, Universitas Negeri Padang, as one of the legal entity public universities, or PTNBH in Indonesia, continues to be encouraged toward a world-class university. For this reason, UNP always support various activities at the international level as being held today. This platform is precious opportunity for us to introduce UNP to the world. We are very confident through this activity we can increase many activities such as research collaboration, joint publication, team teaching, and various other activities. Ladies and gentlemen, with blessing of God Almighty and the permission of all of us, let us officially start this activity by reciting Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before concluding my remarks, I would like to thank the committee for working tirelessly to organize this conference. To all participants, we congratulate the conference and heavily enrich knowledge and establish friendship. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
To closing the opening ceremony with blessings, we would like to invite Assistant Professor Gesit Tabrani to lead the dua recitation for Muslim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bow our head for a moment. We pray to God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala that the conference will be blessed. I will lead this prayer based on the teaching of Islam, and those who are not Muslim, you are pleased to pray according to each of your beliefs. We start with istighfar. Astaghfirullahal azim alladzi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilaih. Astaghfirullahal azim alladzi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilaih. Astaghfirullahal azim alladzi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilaih. Na'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hamdasy syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhika wa 'azimi sultanik. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidayna wa li jami'il muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qaribun mujibud da'wat wa yaqadiyal hajat. Oh Allah, today we gather here to bring about the 12th Padang International Conference on Education, Economics, Business and Accounting with the theme Enhancing Digital Transformation for Sustainable Education, Economics and Business in the Post-Pandemic Era. Make this international conference as a useful science assembly, as a medium of sharing useful ideas, knowledge, and experiences of scholars, researchers, and students of various disciplines. May the conference we organize today benefit to our lives, broaden our knowledge, shine our ideas, and lead us to be successful, productive person, which in turn will boost dignity of our nation. Allahumma arinal haqqa haqqa warzuqna ittiba'ah wa arinal batila batila warzuqna ijtinabah. Allahumma ya Allah, show us the true is true and inspire us to follow it, and show us falsehood as falsehood and inspire us to abstain from it. Allahumma ya Allah, help me remember you, to be grateful to you, and to worship you in excellent manner. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa syukrika wa husni ibadatik. Allahumma ya Allah, you are the one who can fulfill our dua. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite our moderator of plenary session, Assistant Professor Tri Kurniawati. Time is yours.
Thank you, MC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Padang, West Sumatra, Indonesia. I am Tri Kurniawati, Assistant Professor from Department of Economics Education, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Negeri Padang. It is an honor for me to be the moderator of this conference. I would like to welcome you all to the 12th Padang International Conference on Education, Economics, Business, and Accounting 2023. The Honorable Rector and Vice Rectors of Universitas Negeri Padang, Dean and Vice Dean of Universitas Negeri Padang, our distinguished guests, presenters, and all participants of this conference. And especially warm greeting to our invited speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Shirat Sahid, Professor Valentine Fasil, Assistant Professor Dr. Eka Fauzi Hardani, and Assistant Professor Dr. Sami Ying. The theme of our conference today is Enhancing Digital Transformations for Sustainable Education, Economics, and Business in the Post-Pandemic Era. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will have two sessions. The first is the speaker presentations, and the second is questions and answer session. Each presenter will be given about 25 minutes to deliver their presentations. The Q&A sessions is available from the first presentations. To the participants who want to ask the questions, you can type your questions in the chat room or in the live chat in our YouTube live streaming. Please include your name, institutions, and which panelist do you wish to answer the questions. Before we start the presentations, please allow me to introduce the first of our invited speakers, Professor Valentine Fasil. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Valentine Fasil is Director, in Institute of National Economy, Romanian Institute, Romania. She took his Doctor of Philosophy in Economics in National Institute for Economic Research, Romanian Academy. And Professor Valentine's research interests are including development economics, international economics, labor economics, cultural heritage, cultural management, sustainability management, and economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentations by Professor Valentine Faisal is about chronic imbalances between the supply of education markets and the demand of the labor markets, current challenges for closing the skills mismatch gap. Okay, let's get some greetings to Professor Valentine. Hello, Professor.
Hello, nice to meet you. It's
Nice
very
to meet
nice
you
to be
too.
here.
Oh, thank you, Professor. Nice to meet you too here. So can we start the presentation, Prof?
Yes, I can start the presentation if you allowed me to share my presentation.
Okay,
Let's see.
Professor. Yes, yeah.
Could
Yes,
you
we can
confirm
see.
me that it's available for all of you? Yes?
Yes, it's okay. Okay, Prof, time is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank you for your invitation in this conference, this prestigious conference. And also, I was very pleased to see the topic of this year of the conference regarding digital transformation, which has a huge impact also on educational system, but not less on labor market. For this respect, my present presentation it's about skills mismatch. In this respect, allowed me to present you some general aspects related skills mismatch, and after that to present you very briefly, because 20 minutes is quite limited time for present the research results of our institute, but I will give you just few insights about our research, and finally the presentation will end to express and to mention some challenges on the educational system regarding closing the skills mismatch gap. So let's start with the presentation, mentioning that the 15 global main challenges include also the 4 that I mark with arrows. The first challenge is it's about science and technology development. Also, it's about population and resources management. And because we are discussing about the science, we have to have into consideration education and learning. And finally, the quality of life, but here in this sustainable development and a Millennium Project, it's mentioned like the gap between rich and poor. Present challenges that I consider when I try to structure my papers are related to technological transfer, to business environment, and the changes of the production model. Also, we could consider, it's compulsory to consider for today, energy and digital transition, that is named double transition. And also we have to mention that not all the time the economic recovery was very robust or consistent or very fast after the COVID or after the last financial crisis. So that we have to take into consideration the low resilience of the economic system to recovery. And according to this, we can discuss about volatile recovery. And talking about quality of life from the educational point of view, but also from the labor market point of view, we have to consider life insecurities and also cost of living crisis, considering the inflation, the recent inflation crisis, and also the geopolitical insecurity that we have faced in many places in the world economy. From the labor market point of view, I have to mention that the main challenges are shortage of skills workers, and we are talking about not only the technical skills and the professional profile, but also we are talking about transversal skills. Sometimes the experts are mentioned this like soft skills, and we are dealing with communication, team workings, leadership, but not at last about digital competencies. And we are talking now about the transition for the 0.40 economy to 5.0 economy, which means big data, cloud computing, generative artificial intelligence. And also we discuss about passing from doing digital to being digital, which is quite challenges for all of us from educational point of view and from labor market point of view. Also on the labor market, we register in many countries, and especially in less developed countries, with inequalities increasing and also discrimination persistent, and labor market insecurity, especially after the COVID-19 crisis. A permanent problem that we have to deal on the labor market is about unemployment. So, considering the present challenges on labor market, global challenges, which mean sustainability, green economy, greener jobs, we have to consider that these transitions and this overlapping crisis that we face now are creating net jobs or not. From this respect, I try to present you some results about structural labor market according to the Future of Job report from 2023, elaborated under the auspices of World Economic Forum. And we have to recognize that the aspects of challenges in education and in the labor market are a very important issue because, for example, in the next 5 years, 23% of the jobs will be changed and will be disappears a lot of jobs for which we are providing education at different level, at the university and pre-university level. From the point of view of educational sector, I show you that among the 15 global challenges, the global challenge is number 9, it's about education. And what means this? It means that educational learning have to make humanity more intelligent, knowledgeable, and wise enough to address global challenges. And also we have to discuss that we need to have and to upskills and to reskills or upgrade our competencies in order to have appropriate skills for our life. And this means both for labor market and for life. A special attention in this presentation, I will address to skills mismatch because this create a lot of challenges from the point of view of curricula, professional profile, lifelong learning, upgrade professional and pedagogical skills of the teaching staff, and also changing the teaching strategies and also the teaching model with our students, and not only the students, also with the students from pre-university level. What is more important that we have to reach the highest level of efficiency in education, despite of the different types of educational system. For example, according to the report I mentioned before, both Finland and South Korea are in the top of the score in the educational results performance. But if we compare the educational system in Finland with the South Korea, we will see that are totally different system of education, but the final results are similar. The top results in evaluating the quality of education. What means skills mismatch from the point of view of labor market? Mainly, it means the loss of human capital, the loss of human potential, which means inefficiency in labor force utilization. From the point of view of skill shortage, we have also internal mismatch, internal considering at the organizational level, at the level of the firms and companies. And also we have external aspects, which means that skills are not available for the demand of the labor market. And also we registered similar, in the same time we have skill shortages, but we have also skill surplus. This means that we faced with disequilibria, which means from the point of view of individuals, enterprises, and society at a large, additional costs. And we will see what means this lost. From the point of view of labor market, skills mismatch means skill shortage. We need something, but our graduates acquired through educational system another type of skills, or not enough, or lack of some competencies. We register skills gap from the point of view of the level of the education and the content of the education. And also we face in the same time overqualification from different positions. Skills mismatch was a concept that was developed after 2010, and now there are also economic indicators that are measure the deficit and also that are measure the impact. The first statistic that was developed was in 2008-2009 in developed countries. And now it's a normal procedure to provide the statistical indicators about skills mismatch in European Social Survey, in key indicators on the labor market, or also around 2010-2012 was developed skills mismatch index. I was part of this methodology creation of the skills mismatch index. And the main purpose was to try to find and to identify some instruments able to create a more correlation between what educational system offer as skills and competencies to their graduates, and what is necessary for the labor market. From the economic point of view, when we discuss about matching skills from education to the labor market, we discuss not only about skill acquisition, which means that many of them are provided through the initial education system, but also we have to consider lifelong learning. And when we discuss about efficiency of education, efficiency of permanent training, we are discussing about outcomes, which means that a labor force have to reach growth and productivity at jobs, and also to have a level of competencies that are able to deal with the opportunities, but also to the challenges of the workplace. Talking about skills requirements, we have to discuss about the role of education, of the initial education. How can be complemented this education with continuing education after graduation? And finally, how is possible to reach more competencies at the work during the work process? What this means training on the job. This is a schematic structure developed by International Labour Office in 2013 that was the start point for creating the index of skills mismatch. We are talking now about different perspective about skills mismatch, and in this paper I will present you a little bit from the individual point of view, and from the labor market point of view, and from educational point of view. From the labor market point of view, we have a typology that it's structured in surplus of the skills, which means that employment is in a lower training position than the training that they achieved during the education. Also, we have a vertical and horizontal mismatch, which means that acquiring skills not means only to have a standard position, but also to be appropriate for the jobs, and also to appropriate from the level of education, the level of qualification, and also to be appropriate with the field of activity. We can experience in the same times labor shortage, but also over education with some position, or person that are employed in some position. Also, we have to discuss about overqualification, which means that workers hold a higher qualification than job requirements. And for example, just for example, in 2010 was for the first time when in Romania we calculate this skills mismatch and this overqualification situation of the workers. And our research results shows that 40% of the workers that were employed and in low qualified jobs or unskilled jobs were with higher education, which means that 40% of our human capital was in this position of overqualification. That means loss of investment in education, and also loss of competencies that they acquired through the education but not able to using during the jobs. Skills mismatch in 2023 was redefined this index, and include also overqualification and underqualification like in 10 years before, but also include skills obsolescence and latent skills deficit, which is very important when we are talking about the future of education, the future demand and supplies on the skills for the labor force. From the individual point of view, we have to discuss about how much do we fit with competencies that are requested by the jobs that where we are employed. From this perspective, I will give you just an example. University professor. Education is the level of the university professor because of different economic situation. A person with such qualification was involved in a job like receptionist in hospitality industry. And from this point of view, it's very clear that that person is overeducated, because a receptionist in hospitality industry doesn't need to have a level of education at as university professor hours. But if we consider the specific skills jobs that are required for the same job, receptionist, and if we thinking about the communication skills, specific communication skills that are needed for this position, this job, we also consider that the same person is in the same time underskilled from the point of view of the job request where he is employed. From this point of view, on one hand, we have loss of potential and for the investment in education, but the other, we also have lost, but from the point of view of lower productivity at the jobs, because they don't have necessary specified communication skills for the jobs, even the job is lower than the educational level. From the point of view of education market approach, this table was constructed based off the research that we developed for 5 years in our institute. And we try to put here, not to present in details our research, but just to present you what we discuss and which were the main aims of our research related skill competencies. And we discuss about horizontal mismatch, considering basic generic competencies. We also discuss about minimum common interdisciplinary skills required by the business environment development. And also we took into consideration and we analyzed through a qualitative analysis vertical mismatch, which means professional skills, but not all professional skills, but those professional skills that allowed rapid technological transfer. And also we consider that there are some jobs where a mix between horizontal and vertical mismatch could generate additional requests for professional orientation or retraining of the jobs, of the training, of the activity they have to deal at the job. From this point of view, policy measure that was necessary in order to close the gap about skills mismatch, it's not only about digital inclusion, but also is related to financial inclusion and entrepreneurial attitude. Also, we are talking now about a different content of economic literacy. From this point of view, economic literacy means not only to know something about basic economics or finance, but also means how to deal with the specific content of economic development in providing green economy and also in creating greener jobs. We also consider that
Professor?
an economist, yes,
Hello, Professor.
yes,
We are so sorry. We have only 5 minutes left, Professor.
yes, thank you very much. It's quite
You're
enough for
welcome.
me. I will
Okay.
present you. It's quite enough for me. We also discuss about interdisciplinarity, which is very necessary for for present and for future education of the specialist in economics, but also for the jobs that are require creativity and also require jobs management. From the point of view of skills mismatch, we have to mention that at the global level, 77% of the jobs are with a skills mismatch. From the point of view of evolution, the global talent shortage show us the skills mismatch increase in the last 10 years from 35% to 77%, which means that the gap between educational system offer and labor market demand increase sharply and create more problems for the future of jobs, quality, and performance. From the point of view of differences between countries, we can see Taiwan and Germany that report difficult filling open roles with the biggest impact at 90% and 86%, but also we have other countries with less than 2/3 of skills mismatch. From the point of view of industry, communication services has the highest level of skills mismatch, around 80%. And if you see, there are also other type of activities with a higher level of skills mismatch. From the skills necessary for the future and for the present, we discuss about competency related to creativity and originality. And also we have the same technical skills about engineering. Conclusion. The main conclusion that now even the educational system trying all the time to modernize and to update the knowledges and the information they provide to the students, we have an insufficient training from the point of view of the future challenges of life development, of the future challenges of education, and for the future challenges from the business environment development. Also, from the point of view of education paradigm shift, I mention here 3 categories of challenges that we have to face in an educational system. We are starting from the national objective of education. We are talking about keeping and maintaining and using in a higher level and in more smart way the lifelong learning online, and also to use research and development for human and artificial intelligence symbiotic evolution, because artificial intelligence will not substitute, but will complement. It's totally different from automatization. Also, we have to consider not only STEM indicators, STEM education profile, but also focus on human relations, socio-emotionally, entrepreneurship, art, self-employment, ethics. which is more important for the paradigm shift, and I will finalize with this, we have to discuss about mastering a profession to mastering combination of skills. So it's not necessary at the education level to train students and be expert in some profession if he is not able to acquire additional competencies and skills, transversal or soft competence, in order to combine and to fit with this crisis and this transition they are facing, which means energy crisis, digital transition, and also economic crisis after the COVID. From the point of view of teaching, we have also 3 recommendations, starting with changing the model of education and also retraining of our teachers. Even we are of the highest level of education, we have to prepare all the time and to be up to date with all the acknowledging from research and development, and also to provide to the students the appropriate research models and research results in order to be able to learn how to learn, not just to acquire knowledges. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor, for such an insightful presentations. So here we can note that we have the global challenges in educations, and as the university, we have to answer such a problem, for example, curricula, teaching materials, and also the teaching methods. And we need to provide the competencies that are matched with the challenge and also the need of the workplace. Thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, next we will come to the second presentations by Assistant Professor Dr. Sammy Ying. Okay, here is the curriculum vitae of our invited speaker. Assistant Professor Dr. Sammy Ying is a senior lecturer in accounting in Newcastle Business School, Australia. She took Doctor of Philosophy in International Accounting, Macquarie University, Sydney. Her research interests are including auditing and accountability, sustainability accounting and reporting, international accounting, corporate governance, and corporate social responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentations by Assistant Professor Dr. Sammy Ying is entitled A Journey into Social, Environmental, and Ethic Research in Accounting and Business. Hello, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Should
Hi,
I
you're
share?
welcome, Doctor.
Should I share
Okay.
my screen now? Or
Oh, yes, of course.
yes.
Time is yours, Doctor.
Thank you. Just to check, you can see my slide.
Yes, we can see it, Doctor.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
You're
really my
welcome.
great honor to join this conference. Thanks for the great opportunity to share my thoughts in this not very long journey so far with all the emergent scholars and senior scholars here. I also learned a lot from Professor Vasil's presentation. I'm looking forward to the rest of the presentation as well. As the host introduced, I came from the University of Newcastle, Australia. I was in Padang before pandemic, attending one of the conference as well. That was a great experience. I graduated from Macquarie University in 2017 with my PhD. Along the journey, I'm trying to navigating the intersection between accounting and social, environmental, ethical issues. Today, I would like to share with you some challenges and also opportunities through the journey that I have observed, and looking forward to your comments and feedback as well. So I'm going to talk about my learning journey, and after that, briefly share with you 2 research projects that I've been working on. Hopefully that one, the 2 are quite relevant to audience, and then share some resource that useful to me, do or don'ts in publication, publishing in accounting and business journals. So in terms of my learning journey, for the research theme, I focus on, first, I targeting the social, environmental, and ethical issues in corporate setting and also at the professional individual level. So my expertise is more aligned with the quantitative research. Later on, you see that the research I share using survey, using archival data. But having said that, I really enjoy reading qualitative papers. It gave me lots of insight to see the world from different perspective. And I also learned a lot and being able to incorporate into my research. One thing I learned that works really well is if I work in qualitative research, I have to get someone who is really expert in that area, and then we work together. Thanks to all my co-author, collaborative team throughout my PhD and last few years as a researcher at University of Newcastle. I find that I benefit a lot from doing research with collaborative team and also with interdisciplinary team. You may find that if you read my profile, it's online, you may find that I'm mainly interested in emerging countries. Like I did research with co-authors in Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, and also the paper I'm going to present is co-authored with someone from the Pakistan. So it's really exciting for me to be able to reach out to authors across the world, thanks to the digital transformation, which I think it's really a great theme for this conference. Then in terms of the challenges and opportunities, I see that through my journey, first, during my PhD, doing research in emerging markets seems like very challenging. For me, it's like an uphill battle. The first comment I got from my first submission to a journal, top American journal, was from a reviewer. Of course, it's anonymous. The reviewer's question was how this is relevant to American audience. So reflecting upon that, I feel, wow, I didn't expect that. I thought that the research is research. It's a global, we are global citizen. So we do research in emerging country, and it's relevant to the world as well because we are part of the world. But I'm happy to say that over the year, I see a lot of changes. In top journals, we see more and more papers from looking at the topics in emerging countries. So I'm going to stick with that and see this uphill journey. So I'm really excited about the opportunity. But I think what we need to do is to help each other navigate the role. So whenever I review the paper, I always want to see the opportunity in the paper instead of being blocked by some bias. I think we all need to admit that if we learn from a certain way, we may be biased by the education system. So just trying to remind myself, I recently reviewed a paper in Accounting and Finance Journal. I also, through reviewing the paper, I see that actually the reviewing process is a process that helping the author to get the paper to a really advanced level. If you see the paper after reviewing, you see, wow, it's totally changed, like quite a big change. That's my experience as well. So don't be scared by rejection. I got every paper on average, it's like 5 rejections. So it's on average, but I did get a lucky one. Over the 15 papers I published, one paper only submit to the second time, and we got a chance for revise and resubmit. So these days, if you get a chance for resubmit, revise and resubmit, make sure you work carefully with your team, and that's a really real opportunity, a learning opportunity. And I find that it's very useful. But in terms of challenges, when I'm working with collaborative team, I also had a lot of error and try. Once I work with co-author, we got a chance to revise the paper, but then the co-author was like reluctant, too hard to revise, so we had to give up. So that's kind of a painful experience because we not really on the same page, but later on we learn from it. Then we kind of say, okay, whoever I work with, if you are not into revising the paper, I'm not going to work with you. So it's really a very lengthy journey. So for the paper I'm going to present briefly, that's going to be on fourth year after the first the working paper out. So that's my research interest. After graduating from PhD, I expand my interest from ethics research to environmental and social. So now I see that of all these pressing issues like climate change, like mental health issue, skill shortage, these can also be addressed at the corporate accountability level because it's also the corporation's moral obligations to address these pressing issues in the world, and together with using the digital tools that we have, so we can effectively and efficiently to address those issues. I'm going to briefly introduce 2 research projects I have been working on. This paper published in Journal of Business Ethics last year. The first author, Dr. Nazir Adil, is currently working at Saudi Arabia University called Al Yamama. She just moved there last year. We had this idea in before 2019, when we were doing PhD together at Macquarie University. And then we start working with that. And then finally, we got our working paper sort of ready for submission just around the pandemic. So that was a really difficult time to trying to push the paper out. Say, okay, anyway, we think it's ready. Let's get it out and test the water. We tried a few journals and then finally land an opportunity to revise the paper. So the paper is about Islamic religiosity and the auditor's judgment. The main motivation of this research is that we find that it's quite established in auditing and accounting literature that culture basically use the Hofstede culture dimension, and culture impact auditors' judgment. So if you are in a business profession like accounting and finance profession, you will find that there are lots of judgments. Professional judgments needs to be exercised. So in the last 20 years, the scholars in the field have established that culture, like we in a society with, like in Australia, we have more of an individualist culture background, but in Asian country, most of the Asian country are from the collectivist culture background. So it's well established that these culture background actually impact auditors, accountants' judgment. And from a religiosity aspect, archival research also find that religiosity level measured by some religiosity measurement in some region, maybe they're more religious than the other region. At a relatively macro level, they find that those religiosity level in region also affect individual and also affect corporate behavior. So we build on top of those literature, and we see that there's a lack of research in terms of the measured or observed individual level intrinsic religiosity, especially the Islamic religiosity. There's very few research on that. So we start looking into the literature, and there is a nice, I share with you later, intrinsic religiosity measurement that can help us to measure individuals' Islamic worldview. There are also another set of the scale which focus on extrinsic religiosity, but actually we didn't find a result for extrinsic, so we then focus our results on the intrinsic religiosity. For this paper, the main research objective is to look at how Islamic worldview impact auditors' acceptance of client-provided evidence, and also how this impact their preference for exercising judgment. I won't go through too much about the methodology. If you are interested in the paper, feel free to reach out, connect with me in ResearchGate. I share with you my link at the end, and you can request the paper from me individually. So I'm not allowed really to share to the broader audience, but I'm happy to share with you one by one. So we collect data from 66 professional auditors in Pakistan, in media and tier auditing firms. And we ask them to assess a case scenario related to provision of doubtful debts. So companies are required to put some figure to estimate doubtful debts. So auditors' job is to assess whether it's reasonable or not. And our results shows that those auditors with higher Islamic worldview score, they tend to accept more client-provided evidence, which is not supposed to be accepted. And we also find that a higher Islamic worldview score leads to more preference for exercising judgment. Our finding highlights that the challenges that facing the professional in terms of making judgment, and we also interpret our finding as there could be a potential risk associated with just accepting client-provided evidence. If auditors are aware of this bias, they could be trained, provide more training, and to be able to do more experiment and exercise to align their to make sure their assessment of clients provided evidence up to an appropriate standard. It also recognized the challenges to ensuring consistent high quality of audit. We call for more investigation for accounting and audit aspect in Islamic countries. And the next paper I would like to share with you, it's a working paper currently. You may not be able to see online, so we are still in the process of submitting to a journal. So the paper is on environmental issue. So we look at from perspective of political theory of regulation, how environment regulation may impact corporate environmental behavior. So I start with, so we start with the motivation. So the environmental regulation often assume they target privately owned firm, but in reality, state-owned enterprises and non-SOE, they are all subject to environmental regulation. But what are their response are quite not clear. So it's important to understand and being able to provide a policy suggestion if there are differences. So our research question is, how do SOE and non-SOE respond differently to environmental regulation in China? So I co-authored with other Chinese scholars as well, leverage their expertise and understanding. We are lucky enough to be able to source or locate the proper theory from political theory, that's political science. It's a quite new proposed theory just within last 5 years. The political theory of regulation basically argue that government agency face a lower cost of violating regulation than privately owned firms. Say if a government agency in Australia, there are lots of government agency, council, local council, and also say labor department. So all these agency may also be subject to environmental regulation, but they may not respond exactly the same as those private owned firm, because the argument is government agency, they are under the government, so they have lower cost of violating regulation. They may not even be caught, so less likely to be sanctioned by the other environmental government agency. So in applying this theory into our setting, the SOE, we compare SOE and non-SOE and see how when they face regulatory risk from environmental regulation, how this elevate or create response from them. We use differences design. It's archival research. We collect data from listed company between 2003 and 2010, because China introduced a 53 cleaner production standard year progressively. So they implement this regulation progressively from 2003 to 2010. So this gave us an opportunity to observe the changes in environmental performance between firms when they introduce this regulation. We can compare the change before and after, and then we also can compare between the difference between the type of firm. So our main results from the research shows that overall, there, as expected, there is a positive impact of environmental regulation on listed companies' environmental performance. So we use the environmental investment and also other environmental performance measure. There is in addition to this baseline assumption, we also observe that stronger positive effect for non-SOE. So in other words, non-SOEs are more scared by the environmental regulation. We also then extend our research to analyze the economic consequence. We find that environmental regulation negatively affect access to bank loan, firm investment, and financial performance, especially for non-SOEs compared to SOE. We did some extra analysis. So this is kind of very traditional archival research. So you can see that if you're doing different type of research compared to the ethical research that we did with auditors, we use survey or experimental method, we don't really have quite a lot further analysis like trying to test the mechanism behind that. So considering the time, I really welcome you to contact me. I can share with you the working paper. I will just quickly cover the rest that I want to share with you. This is the resource shared by Professor Gary Moore from University of New South Wales. I benefit a lot from his sharing. He's the editor of Accounting and Finance. I pick up some, so you can get from the link. I think the thanks to the conference organizer, they will be able to share this slide with you if they can. So these are some that works for me for publication. You can see from the link, there's a long list. As same as when we read a reviewer's comment, we often have to critically think which one is really valuable, which one is less important. So for me, like, it's a must to show your paper to others before submitting, and also the quality of overall presentation. I always look at the recent published paper from journals and trying to learn from the convention. And as I said, it's an uphill battle. If you want to get your idea out, you need to understand the reviewer's mindset as well. They may be conditioned to certain disciplinary convention. Like I used to always get a feedback from accounting's reviewer and finance reviewer that, oh, this is not really very accounting. Like accounting, we look at reporting, we look at disclosure. The paper I just show you, the environmental performance paper, got rejected from top accounting journal because they think it's not very accounting. I guess it's also a luck that if I review this paper, perhaps I would say, oh, there's still performance. Even non-financial performance is company's performance. Accountants have, professional accountants have roles to play, but yeah, that's the luck that we always have to test. And also to really pay attention in terms of the motivation and significance contribution. In addition to the richness of the study, you try to convince the reviewer that your study is worth doing. And one most difficult comment from reviewer usually is contribution. If it's lack of contribution, then it's like you can't really do anything about it unless you change your study, right? So that's one thing we always need to work on before we send out paper. Research design, that's thanks to the team. So I'm still learning how to work with teams from different countries, different discipline, and also my PhD students. They are very enthusiastic. That's really helpful. So we pull together everyone's expertise and submit. So if it's rejected, make sure you go through the reviewer's comment and address some that you think is valid and submit again. If you got to revise and resubmit, lucky. So go full on it. There are also some don'ts that you can see that it just works for me. Doesn't mean it always works for you, but it could be really helpful to reflect on that along the journey. So that's what I really want to share before I finish up. I hope we can help each other. One of the books I recently read is from Harvard Business School scholar. The idea is, who are the best to evaluate your idea? We are creator of knowledge. So we need to evaluate each other's idea that help each other to get our knowledge shared among. Am I over time? I'm not sure.
We are sorry that the time is up.
Yes, so I'm about to finish. So it's the last slide. So hopefully I got a bit more comment and questions. This is my ResearchGate profile. I'm not sure whether you are familiar with it, but you can register it and then send a request to the researchers that you want to connect with. You can get paper from the researcher instead of being blocked by some paywall. That's from me. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to other presentation as well.
Thank you, Professor.
So I'm
Yes,
going to stop.
that's the great presentations from Professor Sami. She shared us two kind of research papers, and I think it's interesting, especially about the Islam religiosity and the auditor judgments. Since Indonesia is one of the country with major populations in Muslims. And maybe, Prof, next we can collaborate for the joint research and publication. Okay, thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, next we will proceed to the third presentations of our invited speaker, Assistant Professor Dr. Eka Fauzi Hardani. Okay, this is the curriculum vitae of our invited speakers. Assistant Professor Eka Fauzi Hardani. She is the head of Department of Accounting, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Negeri Padang. And she took her doctoral program at Andalas University. Her research interests are including business and accounting ethics, behavioral accounting, management control systems, management accounting, cost accounting, and taxation. For this time, Dr. Eka Fauzi Hardani will give us the presentations entitled Behavioral Aspect to Enhance Digital Transformations for Accounting. Dr. Eka, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Rector, Vice Rectors, Dean, Vice Deans, distinguished speakers, and all guests, and also the colleges and our audience. It is great for me to see you in this great conference, Padang International Conference 12 2023. And then I'm being a great honor for me to being the speaker today. And then I would like to thank my special to the committee who has given me this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the topic that the committee given to me, today I will present my presentation about the digital transformation in accounting. My presentation emphasizes especially to the behavioral aspect or maybe to the ethical aspect to enhance the digital transformation in accounting. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to present my presentation that entitled the behavioral aspect to enhance digital transformation for accounting. Talking about digital transformation today is a great topic. Then I believe that everyone in this planet across the border, across national border, across nationality, and across professions will use internet, will use digital technology closely. So I believe that it will be the interesting topic for us forever. Ladies and gentlemen, when we see digital transformation, it has grown tremendously and affect our civilization, all sectors. Digital transformation technology is complicated devices that are created to represent such transformation, and it causes many sectors. It affects many sectors in our life. Digital transformations affect all aspects of human life, corporate system, business, and society, and so on. And I believe that accounting professions is no exception. Our profession, the accounting, have the threats and also face problem with the digital transformation. And then my presentation today is dealing with this one. comes the question for us, why we did digital transformation in accounting? There are several arguments actually, and I pick some of them. The first one is the business environment is very turbulent. It's changed rapidly and unpredictably. And of course, to stay in this such competitive needs the ability to survive. It needs the ability to change, and then it needs the ability to adapt. So, however, it includes in the accounting profession. Though digital transformation for accounting has caused several aspects, and then in accounting profession, we should to serve our client in the fast speed, accuracy in process and services. So what can we do that there's no choice for us in accounting to survive in such competition, in such business turbulent changes, and then we need to surface our client real time. So the business competitiveness need real time information, and such decision is based on the financial information that's supplied by accounting. So it means that the using of digital transformation in accounting is a must-be. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we know that there are so many aspects, there are so many kinds of digital transformation, digital technology in our life, but I will say some of them. It is accounting automation, and AI, cloud computing, and blockchain technology. I will not speak about that in detail because the emphasis of my paper is on the perspective of behavioral and ethics. Taking together all kind of the digital transformation or digital technology, such as cloud, artificial intelligence, and then computing or computerized accounting, and also blockchain technology, all has improved the speed of services by the accountant. So we can say that the use of information technology can simplify accounting process actually, and then especially in manual processing that normally accountant do, such as reporting, such as recording, and then it takes time, I think. And then the automation by the using of digital technology can reduce error associated with human. For example, in recording. So the using of digital transformation, digital technology in accounting has improved our accuracy, and also we can have the accurate data to give decision and to give suggestion for our client. So the next is that digital transformation is believed that it can provide numerous benefits for us. What the benefit is? Since the cloud can make the accounting to discuss, to make collaboration with the team and the client in real time, and then it has been give the possibility to accountant to streamline the process, and the business to streamline the process too. So it reduced to the labor cost for the manual, and then it has been it also mean that it is the need. It will increase the efficiency for corporate. So this is some benefit that the digital technology given to the accounting. Increases efficiency. So ladies and gentlemen, we can see that digital transformation provide faster and more accurate processing of transaction. We are not need to record transaction manually again, and the data can be accessed anywhere, from anywhere and anytime, because we can use cloud and blockchain technology and so on. So it means that accountant can perform the duties more quickly and more accurately. Then the second one is to improve the security. Since the using of technology, it improves the data can be accessed by certain people, also in anywhere or anytime, but it increases the financial security of data. And then the next is about accuracy. Since some works of accountant is replaced by machine, such as computerized, and then it increases the accuracy because we are free from human error, and then it gives the important benefit for accounting professions. And then what the next is that digital transformation improve collaboration. The use of cloud has made possible for accountant to make collaboration and discuss with the client or maybe discuss with a member of the team anytime, anywhere in the world by using internet. So it makes the collaboration and then it induces our ability to provide services to our client more accurate and then more quickly. So let's see. Unfortunately, the benefit of digital transformation is also need some requirement. The first one is it enforces strong and long commitment from all levels of organization. Since the adoption of the technology is not easy, and then it needs the finance investment in the large scale, and also it needs the ability of the staff, and then taking it together, the adoption of digital transformation in accounting need long time and a long commitment from all people in the organization. Let me see the next. Here is the rule of leadership in digital transformation. So since digital transformation need the long-time commitment from the top management of the company, so it is need CEO to make the set or to set the tone and direction and strategy that priority the adoption of digital transformation. We know that what the top management say, it gives the tone for all members in the organization. So when we adopt digital transformation, it needs support from all levels, not only from the top management, but also for other members in the organization. And then it needs leader to approach that in the special way. And then what next is that the adoption of digital transformation is need to communicate clearly between leader and the other, and the leader and the staff and all members in the organization. So actually, it needs to make the collaboration. What next? And then I come to behavioral aspect in digital transformations. So the successful to adopt digital transformation not only talk about the technology, because the man behind the technology is also important. So what important is the behavioral aspect. So we can say that every organization have its own organizational culture, but we can say it is like the iceberg phenomenon. Culture reflects the mindset, the norm, and also the attitude, and then the system in the organization that is absorption by all people in the organization, and then reflected in their daily activities. So all members in organization dealing with the digital adoption should to reset their imagination or should reset their way to run the business, not as usual. And then what next is the adoption of digital transformation need willingness to change, not only from the top management, but from the all member in the family. So it needs the willingness to change, it needs the willingness to innovate, and then as what the most important is, it needs long commitment, because it is not the short time to adopt a technology transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, what we say that in many cases, the issue of organizational culture is become as the main barrier when we change technology in the organization. So the empirical evidence show that So the empirical evidence show that the longer the employee work, and then the more resistant they are to any change in the organization. So cultural resistance maybe will be the barrier to make the changes in the corporate, I mean, especially in the changes of technology. And then what next is when we want to okay, this is the slide. So when we want to adopt technology transformation successfully. So we need to change our culture to be the digital culture. So what that I will say in the next slide. And then we need to reset the mindset to run our business, not as usual. And then we need to reset the way of communication to respect and willingness to change and innovate. And then one of them is, the most important is long commitment from the top management and all staff in the organization. Ladies and gentlemen, let's come to the behavioral aspect in digital transformation. However, we should take into account that the cultural aspect is maybe the barrier. Cultural resistance within the organization will avoid the changes in the organization. So cultural resistance within the organization may also hinder its ability to make necessary changes, including the technology. So the next is, we need to develop a strong digital culture. I don't mean that digital culture, I don't refer to the statement that digital culture mean that the culture can be digitalized, not like that. Rather, it is the organization with digital culture use digital tools and data power insight to drive its decision. So culture itself, of course, cannot be digitalized because it is about norm, it is about value, and so on. So in digital culture, we should try to enable organizations to carry out operation in digital ways and dealing with integrated digital technology in work. Then what important is that digital culture doesn't mean that culture itself cannot be digitalized. I'm so sorry, this statement should be a little bit revised. It means that digital culture doesn't mean that culture can be digitalized. And then what next is? So digital culture is about being flexible and having a workforce that can respond to new challenges in adoption of the technology. So digital culture help company to stay competitive in the such turbulent changes of business in the three ways. The first one is adapt to rapid changes business environment, and then use technology effectively, and then deliver sustainable impact for stakeholder. Okay, and the next, what is the relation between technology adoption and ethics? Okay, let me see here. There are some fundamental ethical aspect in accounting. It includes integrity, objectivity, professional competence, confidentiality, and professional behavior. And what mean for accounting profession dealing with the adoption of digital technology? The adoption of digital technology in accounting is widely recognized as helping accountants to access financial data very quickly and in real time. But it becomes easier also for accountant to coordinate and communicate with fellow team and the client. But it also take into account that there are several threats that covers the using of digital technology. So it is also necessary for us to realize that there are threats that accompany the using of digital transformation. Let's see here. The professional of accounting, judges, are very vulnerable to stand in ethical dilemma situation. So on the one hand, the using of DT, I mean digital transformation, may make it easier for accountant to access data and to find its services. But on the other hand, the using of digital technology can also be misused. And then, for example, it becomes easy to share information, to share company data, to share company financial information to the others. But the accountant is comply to the code of conduct in the accountant. It is about the confidentiality. So the accountant should keep all the information he got in the professional work. They cannot share that such information. So it means that the using of the digital transformation will be more more beneficial when the accountant is have strong the ethical aspect, the ethical behavior. So it is with the important of ethical aspect to enhance the adoption of technology in accounting. So let's see the next slide. Sorry. Okay, the next ethical aspect of digital transformation. The use of digital transformation allow accountant to access company financial data, but the accountant ethical standard regulate the behavior of accountant. It is about integrity and confidentiality that must be adhered to by accountant to carry out their professional duties. And the next is, on the one hand, we all believe that the benefit of digital transformation for facilitating the work for a content profession is no doubt about that. But on the other hand, we cannot ignore the ethical issue cover the professional work of a content. It related to the challenge to maintain the integrity and confidentiality of the client data. So what does it mean that? What does it mean? That adoption of digital transformation in accounting is a must be. Nobody refuses that. I'm sure about that. And then paying attention to technical aspect alone is not sufficient. And the next is that there is an aspect that no less important in technology adoption, namely human factor, because the human behind the technology is very important. And then the next one is strengthening the use of the digital transformation can achieve by strong combination of technology, sophisticated, and the accountant who have the strong level, high level ethical behavior. So I'm sure that it will be the best combination of the using of digital transformation. Okay, I think it is I end up my presentation today, and then thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Eka, for such an interesting presentations. From the presentations, I noticed that digital transformations in accounting is a must-be. When now we have the technology in accounting, such as Bitcoin, when you can have the e-money in metaverse, and also blockchains, cloud, etc. But to do so, we need at least two important things. The first one is investment, and the second one is the digital culture. Thank you, Dr. Eka. Ladies and gentlemen, next we will proceed to the last presentations by our invited speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Shirat bin Sahid. Okay. This is the curriculum vitae of our invited speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Shirat bin Sahid. He is a senior lecturer in entrepreneurship and economic development education from the Faculty of Education, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. He took his Doctor of Philosophy in Entrepreneurship in University Pendidikan Sultan Idris. His research interests are including business and entrepreneurship educations, economics development educations, entrepreneurship training and module, shaping entrepreneurial mindset, SMA management, and entrepreneurial marketing. For this change, Professor Shirat bin Sahid will give us the presentations entitled Nurturing Students' Entrepreneurial Thinking in the Digital Economy Era. Good morning, Professor?
Morning. How are you?
Morning. Fine, thank you. So, can we start the presentations, Prof?
Yeah, sure. May I share my screen?
Oh, yes, of course. Okay, Prof, time is yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Miss Chairman, for the moderating my sessions. Can you see my screen?
Of course.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
Prof, yes.
Thank you for confirmation.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And very good morning. In Malaysia, still in the morning. Maybe in Indonesia now in noon, right? Is it? Or we at the same time? Okay, so it's okay. So thank you, Mr. Moderators, and also my special thanks to the PICEEBA 23 committee for inviting me to share my point of view regarding how to nurturing students entrepreneurial thinking in the digital economy era. So first, we go to the what is the digital economy. So this is a short introduction of digital economy. Is that an economy that is based on digital computing technology. It is a worldwide network of economic activities that's enabled by ICT. Okay, and sometimes digital economy also some books call it write it is internet economy or neo economy or web economy. And today we are living and enjoying this kind of digital economy such as Grab, Shopee, Gojek, and Gojek, yeah, in Indonesia, and Amazon, and also now we are using QR code payment in daily life, in transaction buying and selling product. So and most of the economic player today, either seller or buyer, are dominated by youth or millennial generations. This generation well known as they are very high tech savvy. So that's why we need to inspire, prepare them, and nurture them with entrepreneurial thinking and leadership skills. Because why? Because they are our future economic player. Okay, so here, what is the entrepreneurial mindset? Okay, so it is the inclination of a person or individual to discover what happening in the market, and then evaluate the market so that this entrepreneur can come with a new solution in terms of product, services, or process, or as well a new way of doing something. Okay. So this kind of mindset or domain should be needed by students or graduate to create a new ideas or new business. Okay. So usually that new ideas or new business as a response to customer or society needs that are not being satisfied by the current product or current business or current services. And entrepreneurship in 3 ways. We need to ingrain or injected our students' minds. Before I'm proceed to my presentation, actually my material is about entrepreneurship education for teachers or educators. So for the students here, maybe maybe you just get some input, but my materials is more suitable for educators or teachers or lecturers. Okay, again, so entrepreneurship in 3 ways. We need to ingrain this or injected in students' mind and perception that entrepreneurship is not just selling and buying activities. It's beyond that. So we have to always embedded this kind of entrepreneurship in every entrepreneurship module or training, entrepreneurship training in campus. So first is business entrepreneurship. This kind of entrepreneurship categorized when someone is motivated to innovate, create, and take risks. And for the social entrepreneurship, categorized when a company or someone develop, fund, and implement solution to a social, cultural, or environmental issues. And the last one, my students in Faculty of Education, usually I will force them into this kind of entrepreneurship, which is corporate entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship. This entrepreneurship, when employees, usually my faculty are producing graduate with producing a teacher for our nation, Malaysia. So when employee are encouraged to brainstorm new ideas or new product or new services. So based on this 3 type of entrepreneurship, we can conclude that entrepreneurship is not just a selling and buying activities. It also a problem solving. So we try to produce students or graduate with entrepreneurial mindset because they are will facing the community and try to provide the community with the social innovation, social entrepreneurship, and problem solving. So why do we need entrepreneurial mindset? Why do we need to enhance, to give this skill to our students? We are making decision in limited information in a time compressed, also very limited resources. So usually the point number 1 and number 2, actually we facing this in March 2020, right? So the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic in Asia, in Southeast Asia. So the challenge is that how we create and build a solution with limited information, resources, and expertise. That's why we need leaders, thinkers, and policymakers, politicians to have entrepreneurial leadership skills. And also we need, now we are living with a digital era. Usually when we come with the VUCA, strategic term from Army system, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Okay, why? Because we no guarantees, or we don't able to live in a comfort zone. By hook or by crook, we take on a certain amount of risk. Okay, so and also competition is changing. We're not entrepreneur. We're not just competing with the local player. Also, the compete with international player or global economic player. So also the market also changing. As I mentioned before, our market now is dominated by young generations. The decision makings influenced by young generations. Also the product and PLC, product life cycle, also shorter and shorter. So in the last 10 years, for example, for the Honda Civic or Toyota Camry, we will get a new facelift. We need to wait for 2 until 4 years. But now every years have a facelift model. So that's why we need an entrepreneur mindset to innovate product or services. So therefore, in this short presentation, this is my humble 7 point of view on how to empower or nurture entrepreneurial mindset for students or undergraduates, so that these students will be well prepared and will prepared with entrepreneurial thinking and skill when they graduated from the university. Okay. Number 1, mindset setting during the first day in university. So here we need to inject these 2 type of skill in our students, and could be better if we shifting their mindset from being a job seeker to being a job creator. So what is job seeker is high dependency on job offering, which is work for others, and this skill needed in order to getting a job. Okay, but for a job creator, beyond boss, or be a social innovator. So job creator skill needed by graduate or students to be an entrepreneur or be a social entrepreneur or social innovator. So by cultivating entrepreneur mindset, this means we ingrain students with being comfortable with risk, embracing creativity, and having solution-oriented approach. So by understanding the failures are stepping stone to success. So entrepreneur mindset allows us as educator to navigate uncertainties and turn challenges into opportunities to our students. So shifting from a job seeker to a job creator is about recognizing opportunities, fostering an entrepreneurial mindset, building a necessary network and skill. Okay, so it's an empowering journey that open doors to unlimited possibilities. So as an educator, lecturer or teacher, remember that we have to remind our students that they have the potential not just to find a job, but to create a job for themselves or others or their community by embracing the entrepreneurial spirit and let students ideas enjoying their ideas flourish. So that's why when we shifting students mindset from job seeker to job creator, we playing with two kind of mindset, which is fixed mindset and growth mindset. Okay, so what is fixed mindset? When people with a fixed mindset believe their abilities, intelligence, and talents are fixed trait. So this kind of mindset they tend to avoid challenges and also give up easily. And when we come to the hardworking, they try to avoid. But for the growth mindset, on the other hand, this kind of mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence can be developed over time. Okay, point number 2, by helping students develop their entrepreneurial mindset through team-based project or problem-based learning. So we need to challenge them to identify, to recognizing a problem or what job to be done in order to help the community or current product or services. Okay, and also we need to send students on unstructured journey. We do not give them a blueprint. Okay, for example, Shirat, okay, for this week, you need to do this one. After that, you need to do this one. So we have to give them students unstructured journey. Okay, students, this is the idea. This is I need you to do. Okay, but how to do? Where to find the resources and materials is up to you. So give them the opportunities to being a creative. Okay, number 3. In number 3 or number 2? My slide cannot move. Okay, number 3. By help students think broadly and unleash their creativity by using a learning approach. So what is a learning approach? So a learning approach, we give students no directions. So okay, students, for next week, I need you to find this idea, okay, and then bring the solution for that particular problem. So in this approach, we need to design our course or classroom so that students can spend more time that rather than we are as a lecturer do presenting and lecturing. So we have to be an advisor rather than instructor to students. Okay, here my study. Okay, my research on how entrepreneurship educations by using two. One is classes, curriculum attendance, and one is extracurricular activity. Okay, outside class. So what the impact of entrepreneurship education to enhance the entrepreneurial mindset among students. So my sample is UKM students, 5,000 of UKM students. And yeah, this is the result. It has a significant effect on enhancing students' entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, point number 4. Okay, keep in mind that usually, culturally, the taboo of failure, even on a very small scale or even in the name of learning, can be ingrained in the mind of students around the world. Okay, so in our classroom, in your classroom, invite students to bring their life experience before and workplace knowledge before into their studies, into the class. So this can be just a powerful as the more famous exhaustion to get out of the classroom. Okay. So through the student directed experiential learning, we create a comfortable and relatable starting point. From there, students can diverge their thinking, unleashing their potential for a richer and more dynamic educational journey. Number 5, we need to show students what they can achieve. What they can achieve by coaching students in the beginning of the semester of the course, help assuage their concern about embarking on an open-ended team project, while also supporting initiative and self-reliance. So it's not merely about introducing the curriculum. It also about instilling a sense of guidance and mentorship from day one in university. So our role as a teacher or educators goes beyond imparting information. It involves nurturing and coaching students through the initial stage of their learning journey. So this means providing the necessary support, setting a clear expectation, and creating an environment that foster engagement and growth. So by coaching our students at the beginning of the day in their university, we establish a foundation for success and set a positive and impactful educational experience. Okay, point number 6. Okay, teach students the value of changing course. So a key part of entrepreneurial mindset is to be able to course correct, learn from the mistake, and move on. So entrepreneurship professor position hardworking, smart, hardworking as a learning opportunities. For example, if you are in science and engineering field, tell students that his class or her class is a laboratory for both aspiring and failing. Dare to fail, right? Berani untuk gagal. So advise them to expect failure and think about how they are going to deal with that failure. Okay. So mistake when student embrace it become invaluable learning experience. So by doing this kind of approach, we not only cultivate students' resilience, but also showcase the transformative potential of errors. So, let's guide our students through a journey where mistakes are not setback, but it is a stepping stones toward improvement, toward success. Last but not least, my point of view on how to nurturing students' entrepreneur mindset is by communicating with students regularly to establish new ways of thinking. So beyond the classroom, we play a crucial role in providing opportunities for real-world applications. So this involves encouraging students to step outside the traditional academic boundaries and also engage them with hands-on experience. So by doing this, we not only foster creativity, but also instilling a sense of initiative or problem-solving skills. Okay, so let's inspire your students to establish a daily reflective practice. Some proverb said that practice make perfect. Manjadah wajadah, right? So this practice cultivate self awareness, empower students to gain or to extract valuable lessons from their experience. Okay, so to the reflection, we guide them with identifying strengths, weaknesses, and areas for growth, for improvising. Okay, and this approach, hand-on opportunities and reflective practice, form a foundation for developing resilience, innovative, and entrepreneurial mindset. All right, that's all for me. I pass back to you, Mr. Moderators.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor, for such a very interesting presentations. Agree, Professor? Manjada, wajada. So, entrepreneurship is not about selling and buying, but also about the problem solving and being innovative persons. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to our panelists for such a very insightful presentations. Next, we will proceed to the question and answer sessions. We will have 3 sessions of questions and answer. I will read the questions and then we will give the time to our panelists to answer the questions. Okay, let's come to the first question. Okay, this is the first questions. The questions is for Professor Valentine from Mufida Tulali from Universitas Negeri Padang. The question is, with today's accelerated increase in technological capabilities, will jobs in economic sectors such as accountant, etc., be replaced by robots? Professor Valentine?
Yes, thank you very much for the question.
Yes, you can answer the question.
Yes, I'm very happy that you put this question because I also being as a researcher, but I am also teaching at the university at the Faculty of Accounting and Finance, and all the time I put this question to the students from the last year of studying at the university, and also I am discussing with the master students. And all the time we are discussing about the externalities of digital transformation, because all the time the externalities are positive and negative. And we have also developed in our institute a research, a comparative analysis, what's happened with automatization and the impact on jobs, and what is happened now when we have this increased interest for artificial intelligence, and more we are discussing about generative artificial intelligence. So the result of our research was a qualitative research conducted in some companies in Romania with foreign direct investment, but also with national capital on different activities. And just to summarize the results, if the period of automatization replaced some repetitive activities from the point of view of the workers, low developed workers, and but increase also the demand for other type of jobs. Let's say a supervisor, controller, task managing, and so on. So from this point of view, we can say that automatization, yes, was replaced. But when we discuss about artificial intelligence, it's not possible to say that will be replaced totally by the robots, at least in this phase of development of artificial intelligence. And let's give you an example. For example, in laboratory, medicine laboratory, for testing some blood results, all the time we have to discuss about the results of this test for testing blood. And we have to follow two aspects. First of all, we have to look on the standardized results of the analyze, which is provided through specific recommendation. And also we have to look at the similar situation, similar testing that that was before the sample that we test at that moment. And for this, for example, I recommend it to introduce in such type of laboratory Lean Six Sigma management assisted by the artificial intelligence as background for checking and comparing the samples, but the final decision will be human decision of the expert, of the specialist. I think that similar is also in economics, in accounting, because we use now in a large scale different type of soft for providing us all the evidence of the in accounting for a company. But just using this and taking the results automatically is not possible, because all the time when I start learning about the digital transformation, one of my teachers said, dear lady, you have to think that generally speaking, when you use a program or you use a model in mathematics or in other type of activity, the important is the information and the interpretation of the results, which is not possible to be provided by the robots or other, because they are based on some historical information. They are not created. The artificial intelligence, at least now, is not able to create. We have to recognize this. So that he said, if you garbage in information, that unfit information, yes, the results will be surprising, not fitted with the reality. So you have to analyze before and after, before the qualitative and data that you introduce, and finally, the results and the consistency from the economic point of view of the business environment efficiency. So from this point of view, I had an experience with my students. I check with ChatGPT if he's able to answer to a very simple question for the third degree of education and elementary education, and I asked I asked him to answer me using the knowledge that they have a child of 9 years old. And the question was, if you have a number of 3 consecutive numbers and add this number with the inverse of this number, the total should be 666. Which is this number? Do this using the knowledge that have children of 9 years old. And for 2 days, I discussed with ChatGPT and finally said, now I don't know to answer to this question. So now with this type of this stage of development of artificial intelligence, is not possible to replace totally the human contribution and human implication in activity, not in accounting and not in other activity. This is my opinion. You can compete with me. The other colleagues, panelists should have other or could have other opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for such a very interesting answer. So we can conclude that yes, there is some replacement, but not for total replacement. Okay, thank you,
Yes.
Professor. Okay, next we will come to the second questions. Okay, the second question is for Professor Dr. Sami. What are the most important aspects that university must pay attention to in order to create synchronizations between university output and labor market needs, and how to achieve accelerated strategies that can be developed in this aspect? Okay, Prof. Sami, time is yours.
Thanks for the question from Sanati. I guess Professor Vasil has more to add than me. I just share some thoughts in terms of accounting education. Recently, as I can echo what Professor Vasil talked about, the talent shortage. During the pandemic, our Australian listed company had to defer the publication of their annual report because we didn't have enough accountants to do the job. So before pandemic, actually we were thinking IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, actually helps the job mobility among accountants, so they can move kind of from these countries, say Indonesia to Australia, and then work with the for the accounting report, because the deadline or usually the financial year end would be different. So there are some tendency. We were thinking we are solving it, but then we also face problem again. So we are keep solving the problem, and the problem keep coming back. So during the pandemic, we had a lot of issue about meeting the demand, just to meet demand. In terms of the skill set, university still at the stage, from my observation, that we need to catch up with the technology transformation. Recently, we were attending an AI training among our accounting and business educator. So the information I got is statistically next year's accounting student or business student, when they move up from the high school to university, according to the survey, 66% of students, they are using ChatGPT. They are using this large language model, but among teachers, educators, only about 20% use this tool. So the currently my view is more of this is something that unstoppable. So we as an educator, we also need to catch up and learn it. And the labor market needs are constantly evolving. So in accounting, we were doing international accounting reporting standards, and then this year in Australia, we are adopting sustainability accounting standards, international standard. So we are keep learning and keep synchronizing. But what we really need to do, I think, is the support and the resource for educator. That's what we keep advocating. That's very much from my perspective, the most important aspect is to really help the educators to skill up the educators so they can share the knowledge, they can educate the next generation. Yeah. How about other panelists? I guess, especially Professor Vasil, I would be really interested to listening to your opinion.
Okay, thank you, Professor Sami. Yes, to accelerate the skills of educators, yeah, to keep forward with the improvements, especially in digital transformation. Thank you, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, next we will come to the question number 3. The question is for Professor Dr. Shirad bin Sahid from Widya from UNS. Professor, could you elaborate how can educators and institutions adopt their approach to keep pace with the rapid technological change in the digital economy and ensure students are well prepared? Prof, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So how to ensure students are well prepared with the digital economy? So here, as I mentioned before, is the unlearning approach. Okay, so the learning approach, we let students, we provide students with the unstructured ways of teaching. So meaning that, okay, Vidya, for example, Vidya, okay, Vidya, can you help me find some issue regarding the pollutions? So what do you think? What do you think how to avoid or how to educate people from keeping the environment green and safe and safe? Okay, so that's why by doing unstructured learning, so it will help students to find a solution by their own self. Okay, because Vidya, because now we are living in digital era, and for sure the current generation they are very high tech savvy, so they already know how to use Facebook, how to use Insta, YouTube, and whatsoever. So so they can use this kind of social media, okay, social media, to find how to what is going on in the current market, what is happening now in current market. So for example, about glasses, okay, about glasses. Okay, I'm not sure in Australia and in area of Prof. Vasil, but here in Indonesia, in Malaysia, we are facing that young generation with the Korean wave of culture. So from the perspective of spectacles, or glasses. Now it's very difficult for me to find glasses in the form of rectangle or perfect square. So usually now most of the glasses in curvy shape, in a round shape, in a huge shape, right? So that's why when you use the social media, then you will keep up to date with the what is going now, what is the current demand, what happened in the market. Okay, so from the educators and institution perspective, okay, here also we need to learn what is current generation need, what they want, what they need. Okay, so and we try to learn, we try to learn how to match between the way of our teaching and learning to their current needs. All right, so that's all from me.
Thank you, Professor, for such a great answers. So social media give us the update information about the market. So we have to deliver especially the educator should give the teaching and learning to answer the challenge like that. Okay, thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, next we will come to the second sessions of question and answer sessions. Next, we will come to the first question. Okay, we are waiting for the first questions for our panelists. Okay, here is the questions. Okay, the first questions is for Professor Valentine. The questions come from Jiwanto Marzal. Here is the questions. I would like to ask you about the mismatch skill. My question is, how do you handle situations when you feel your skills don't fully match the tasks or responsibilities assigned at you at work? Thank you. Okay, Prof, you can answer the second questions for you.
Thank you very much for this
You are
question.
welcome.
Yes, it's a good question for every professor, everyone who are teaching at the university or at the pre-university. What I am doing, I'm learning all the time. I'm learning by myself using, let's say, autodidact, or I'm learning together with my PhD students, because I am PhD advisor. And also I am learning active participated in conference, in workshops, in other debate session. For example, now in this meeting, even I know a lot about digital transformation or about education. I also find a few aspects from the other panelists that could be considered for me, could be considered as a future question of research. What I am doing all the time, because you see in Romania, we are an emerging country, we don't have enough money to finance training, lifelong training of the teachers, so that everyone has to deal with these aspects with using different opportunities. For example, I applied for in a competition, and before the pandemic, just before with a few months, I gained scholarship in Cambridge for excellency in modeling. So I was there, and I upskills my competencies in this field. Also, I participated as visiting professor in some training courses because I was a visiting professor many times in Japan and in UK. And as professor, I participated at courses at the university, and also I enrich my knowledge. So all the time I am training because it's a shame for a professor to go in the front of the students and to ask you something about your profile, your background, professional background, and not be able to answer. And also, I am also interested in preparing for the future challenges of my profession, of my teaching and research activity. And all the time I am trying to learn what is the new in my field of activity through special courses or by myself using books, documentary, or other type of instruments. So a teacher is responsible, have the accountability to the students to be updated and to come with the newest information. For example, every year I change my courses. A third of my courses are changing because I try to adapt to some examples or case studies. I tried to update the information and to present them the realities. And also, I have open courses at the university together with the experts from the business environment. I invite them and we provide kind of debates on a specific thematic together with the students. And in this respect, we are learn from actual problems, and also we are prepared to acting like real entrepreneurs about our personal skills, because we don't have to wait to be let's say not able to answer to a student when they ask about present problem of the society. So the answer shortly is lifelong learning for each professor.
Okay, thank you, Professor, for such a great answer. Yes, we have to improve ourselves by many activities available in our environment. Okay, thank you, Prof. Next, we will come to the second question. Okay. This is the second question for Professor Semi. It's come from Cynthia Maharani from Universitas Negeri Padang. The question is, how SUEs and non-SUEs face different regulatory risks from governments? Okay, Professor, you can answer the question.
Thanks, Cynthia. Thank you for the question. Obviously, I'm very interested in one of the paper that I present. Given the time limits, I can't really cover everything, but feel free to reach out. I will send you the whole paper. So the idea behind the reasoning of this, our hypothesis or prediction, is coming from the political theory of regulation. It argues that if one, say, example, an environmental regulation issued, if this environmental regulation, both government agency and non-government like companies, privately owned companies, they need to comply, like most of the environmental regulation. In Australia, we have emission scheme. So for governments, they also need to comply with the reporting for their carbon emission. Government, say federal government or state government. So these regulations not only applicable to companies, they also applicable to government. So the previous research actually suggests that if this is the case, governments are facing less regulatory risk, government agency, because it's like government regulate government itself. So they are more linear towards their government agency. And for companies, so they are for-profit company in Australia, then governments are more inclining to fine them if something went wrong. So that's the idea behind our research. So we apply this setting into China. Well, SOE actually accounts for quite a large proportion. Then we predict that because of the close connection between the SOE and the government, so we sort of predict that government will be more lenient towards SOE compared to non-SOE. And we also find the results that confirm our prediction. I think that also bring the importance of reasoning. Even though in empirical research, we show these results, we can only to interpret the results this way and lay out the reasoning behind that. But we always acknowledge there could be other limitation as well. It's just the way that we present our results and confirm as rigid as possible using economic model to address the endogeneity issue and then come up with the conclusion that findings that confirm our prediction. That's the reasoning behind that. Yeah, very good question. I actually want to provide a simple example for those students. Say, I just read a news article about the association between applying sunscreen, and the habit of applying sunscreen, and the risk of get skin cancer. Surprisingly, is the more you apply the sunscreen, the more you get skin cancer in terms of the results. But then when the researcher drew into the detail and the reasoning behind that, they find that those who are using sunscreen or has more habit of using sunscreen, they are actually exposed to the sun more. So that's something that's captured by the reasoning. I think it's a really good question that you are interested in the reasoning behind that research, not just biased towards whatever the results you get. It's very useful. That's from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. So I think it will be pressure for us if we can read all the working papers, and maybe this study can be able to be implemented in Indonesia. Thank you. Next, we will come to the questions number 3. Yeah. Okay, the questions is for Associate Professor Dr. Sharid bin Sahid. It's come from Hamad from University Negeri Malang. The question is, how can efforts to nurture entrepreneurial thinking ensure inclusivity and diversity, particularly in terms of gender, ethnicity, and socio-economic background? Prof, you can answer the question.
Right, thank you, Mr. Hamad from University Negeri Malang. I have been 6 times there. Okay, how can effort to nurture entrepreneurial thinking ensure inclusivity and diversity, particularly in terms of gender, ethnicity, and socio-economic background? Okay, so regarding this, the inclusivity and diversity of entrepreneurship, what I'm doing is, usually I will ask my postgraduate students to identify a strategy or approach how to provide an entrepreneurial skill for such as for the disabilities students, for the single parents, or for people in living in rural area. So usually we will produce a module for every type of people, every type of areas such as urban or disurban or rural area and so on. And also and also based on socio-economic background. Here in Malaysia, we have terms we call it B40, M40, and T20 means T20 meaning that top 20% of Malaysian population is came from the 10,000 ringgit income per month. Okay, for B40, the bottom 40, 40% of Malaysian population is the total income of household is below below 2,000 ringgit, means below par of average of Malaysian population. And this is what inclusivity my university doing is how to have this low income group. So usually we will divide this low income group into a several part, which is based on their living area, such as rural area, or based on the population, how many single mother, single father living are there, and also ethnicity. So our practice in Malaysia, yes, usually we will produce a module for every kind of people based on their needs and their social issue and their economic issue. All right. So from the university perspective, yes, we need to produce a module. Okay. That's all for me. Hopefully it answer question from Mr. Hamad from University Negeri Malang.
Yes, thank you, professors. It's really answered the questions from our participants. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished 2 sessions of our question and answer. And then we will come to the last questions and answer sessions for Dr. Eka. So let's come to the first questions from our participant for Dr. Eka. Okay, the questions come from Dian. Hello, Dian. Thank you for the questions. The question is, the development of digital technology helps a lot with human work. Will the accountant be replaced by technology in the future? It's just like the previous questions. Okay, Dr. Eka, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Titi. Thank you very much for Ms. Dian for your question. It is a great question, and I'm sure that my answer will be debatable maybe. So I'm going with you that the using of digital transformation in accounting profession has provided the great support for us and has provided the great help for us, especially for the daily repetitive work in accounting, such as recording. But we are realized that the accounting profession is fulfilled with the complicated works, and then we should comply with our code of conduct, and then our work in accounting is full of judgment. So I'm sure that the accounting profession cannot be replaced by digital technology or by robot or by machines. And I'm sure that the existence of accountant with the high standard of ethical behavior will remain as the human advantage. So when we see the example maybe, the using of digital technology can help us for recording. For example, when we make the recording for the sales transaction, maybe for the cash or maybe for the cash and maybe for the credit. But when we do audit for this transaction, maybe the auditor need to make the confirmation of the receivable when we make the credit in our sales. So when the auditor want to make the confirmation of the receivable, so it is about judgment. It's about judgment. So maybe the auditor will choose some of the receivable that should be confirmed, and then he will send the positive confirmation or maybe positive confirmation. And I think it will be remained as the human or its accountant advantage. And then I think this is my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Eka, for such a great answer. Again, we agree that not total a replacement for human. Again, next we will come to the question number 2. The question comes from Fanny. Wow, it's quite long questions. Okay, I will read the questions. Accountants as individuals are vulnerable to ethical problems, even though accountants, especially public accountants, have to increase user confidence in financial report through audit opinion. Is digitalization of accounting able to reduce ethical problem faced by the accountant? Okay, Dr. Eka, you can answer the last questions.
Thank you, Ms. Titi. Thank you, Ms. Titi. And thank you, Ms. Fanny, for the great question. It's about is the using of digital transformation can reduce ethical problem faced by accountant. So we widely acknowledge that the using of digital technology in the accounting profession has provided great help for us. And then, as I mentioned before, it helps us from the daily manual repetitive work in our professions. But however, the problem of ethics and behavioral that covers accountant profession is so complicated. So let I give some example. In some company that we found this ethical scandal, such as Enron, and then maybe in Indonesian case is SN Agri, and also maybe there are so many ethical violations in the world, and then nobody doubt that this company use digital transformation in their operations. But why the ethical violation, why ethical problem keep happening pervasively and persistently until today? So actually, the problem about ethical behavior and the issue of adoption of technology is cannot be replaced each other, but both of them should be put in the same balance, and then in the same position. Then I'm sure that the ethical issue, ethical behavior of the content will enhance the adoption of digital technology in accounting professions. So thank you very much for your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Eka, for a great answer for the 2 questions. Ladies and gentlemen, as we finish to answer all the questions, let me say thank you to all of our panelists for such a great presentations and discussions. Applause to all of our panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our plenary sessions. I am Tri Kurniawati, would like to say thank you for participating in our conference. And see you again in the 13th PICEEBA of 2024. I would like to say bye-bye and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Give it back to our MC.
Thank you for Assistant Professor Tri Kurniawati. And let me give applause for our moderator and all invited speakers.
The next agenda, the closing speech by Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business Universitas Negeri Padang, Profesor Prengki Susanto, PhD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Rector, Vice Rector, Deans, Vice Dean, Board of Leader of Universitas Negeri Padang, invited speakers, attendees of the 12th PICEEBA presented by FEB UNP. First and foremost, I extend my appreciation to our distinguished speakers who are inside us with the great presentation and idea. Associate Professor Dr. Serat Said from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Thank you, Prof. Professor Valentine Fasil from Institute of National Economy Romanian Academy, Romania. Dr. Eka Fauji Hardani from Universitas Negeri Padang. And the last, Dr. Sami Ying from University of Newcastle, Australia. I extend my honest gratitude to each and every one of you gathered here today. We are very happy to announce that there are more than 2,000 participants join us in the Zoom and YouTube. As Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Negeri Padang, I am really glad with this success conference, and we are always committed to have innovation in our program. Ladies and gentlemen, by saying Alhamdulillah and praying for the blessing of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, let us close this conference. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. I extend my gratitude to the organizing committee and volunteer for their hard work to organize this conference. Also for our co-author today, University Technology Mara Malaysia, Cawang Melaka. Lastly, let us collaborate toward a future where digital transformation becomes a substance for positive changes, sustainability, and inclusive growth. We are welcoming you all for collaboration in joint research, publication, and academic events. I'm looking forward to see you again in other programs in near future. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
This is the end of the opening ceremony.
We are thankful to all guests and the participants for the attention of this ceremony.
According to the agenda, parallel session will be start at 1 p.m.
For the information of the parallel session are be shared on the WhatsApp group of presenter and author. See you in the next event of PICEEBA.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, CEO.
Thank you, Prof. Sami, Prof. Serat. Thank you.
Everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.